Good afternoon, everyone. Today topic is endocrine. We started this adrenal gland. So in the adrenal gland, so there will be adrenal cortex and adrenal medulla. So you know the adrenal gland, which is a cap-like structure, that is called suprarenal gland, which is present above the kidney. So this is the kidney and this is the suprarenal gland. So this suprarenal gland, or adrenal gland, so when you see the cross section, we can see the three layers. One is the outermost layer is zona glomerulosa, zona fasciculata and zona reticularis. So that is a cortex. This is a cortex and this is medulla. So in the cortex, mainly the zona glomerulosa will secrete the mineralocorticoids. Okay, mineralocorticoids. In that, aldosterone hormone is important. Then glucocorticoids mainly secrete cortisol, and gonadocorticoids mainly secrete the sex hormones. We will see the mineralocorticoids. The mineralocorticoids are important is aldosterone. Okay, the important is aldosterone. So the name only indicates the minerals mainly. So it involved in the maintain of minerals like sodium, potassium and all. So in that we will study the hormone aldosterone. So coming to the functions of aldosterone. So main first function on sodium ions. So it will increases the reabsorption of sodium from DCT. So mainly it acts on the distal convoluted tubule and collecting duct in the kidney and help in the reabsorption of sodium from DCT and collecting duct. So the second function is maintaining of extracellular fluid volume, that is body fluid volume. When the sodium is reabsorbed from the renal tubules, so almost all equal amount of water is also reabsorbed. So you already studied that is facultative reabsorption. In that, when the sodium is get reabsorbed, the equal amount of water is also reabsorbed in the renal tubules. So that will increases the ECF volume. Okay. So when the sodium ion are reabsorbed, the aldosterone main function is to reabsorb the sodium ions in the renal tubules. So when the sodium ion get reabsorbed, the equal amount of water is also reabsorbed. So there is a net increase in ECF volume. Okay, there is a net increase in ECF volume. So when the aldosterone increases the sodium reabsorption from the renal tubules, but the concentration of the sodium in the body will not increase as much because of simultaneous reabsorption of water. So what will happen? So if the sodium ions is reabsorbing more and more, so along with water is also reabsorbed, so there will be a increase in urine output. If the water content in the body increases, to maintain balance, the urine formation will also changes. So that will increase the urine output. So the excess amount of sodium, whatever the reabsorb, will be excreted through urine. So that is the second function of aldosterone. So if the increase in ECF volume, so then there is a simultaneous, the blood volume is also increased. So all the ECF means the extracellular fluid volume, the blood volume and water intake. So all are interconnected. If water intake is more or reabsorption in the kidney is more, the ECF volume increases and the blood volume is also increases. So finally it will increase the blood pressure. So the aldosterone, so mainly by increasing the by causing the reabsorption of sodium ions, it will increase the water reabsorption from the renal tubules. So the BP is also increases. So next coming to a clinical condition called Cone syndrome. So Cone syndrome is mainly by hyperaldosteronism. That means there is increase in aldosterone secretion. So if the aldosterone secretion increases, so then there is a hypernatremia. So that is increase in sodium ion in blood. Hypokalemia, that is decrease in potassium ion, and it will lead to hypertension. Then alkalosis, osmotic diuresis, the water output will be increases, and electrolyte imbalance, that will lead to muscular weakness. So finally there is a tetany will also develop. So Cone syndrome is is increase in aldosterone secretion. Increase in aldosterone secretion, so that will increases sodium reabsorption, potassium reabsorption, decrease in potassium ion, and leads to hypertension, alkalosis, and muscular weakness are the symptoms. So that's complete the mineralocorticoids. So mineralocorticoids example is aldosterone. So aldosterone function is mainly the reabsorption of sodium and maintain the ECF volume in the body. So next is the glucocorticoids. So glucocorticoids mainly it will secrete the hormone cortisol. Okay. So for glucocorticoids example mainly it secrete cortisol. So main function of the cortisol is make the glucose. So main function of the cortisol to make the glucose available from breakdown of proteins and fats during stress. So during the stressful condition, so to provide a immediate glucose, the energy to the body, so cortisol will be released, and immediately it will break down the proteins and fats and helps to withstand the stressful condition. So and also there is another one is important function is anti-inflammatory function. So we will see the actions each. So first one, it acts as a permissive action. So it will give a permission to show the action to the target organ. So the cortisol will be present in the target organ for the action of certain other hormones like catecholamines. So that means that the catecholamines has to act on the target organs. So it will the cortisol will be provide a positive reaction or positive input for the to show the catecholamines on their target organs. Hence it is a permissive action. Next coming to the metabolic function, the important is a metabolic because it is a glucocorticoids. The name only indicates the gluco means the glucose metabolism. So in that on carbohydrates, first one is a hyperglycemic hormone. Hyperglycemic, that means increase the glucose in the blood. Increase the blood glucose level. So hyperglycemic means increase in glucose content in the blood, and decrease the peripheral utilization of the glucose by all parts of the body. Okay, so it will prevent the peripheral utilization of decrease the peripheral glucose uptake. Means if the glucose is go to the peripheral part, it will store as a glycogen. Okay, so it will prevent the store of glucose in the body. Okay, and increase the glucose production by the liver, that is gluconeogenesis. Okay, increases the glucose production by the liver. So that is on carbohydrates. On protein metabolism, it increases protein synthesis in liver and has an anabolic hormone, prevent the breakdown of proteins, increases the breakdown of proteins in peripheral tissue like muscle. Okay, so protein metabolism, so it will mainly increases the protein synthesis in the liver. So next one is the lipid metabolism. So it is a lipolytic hormone, lipolytic lysis. So it will cause a lipid breakdown of lipids and release of fatty acids from adipose tissue. Increases the free fatty acids and glycerol in the body fluids. Okay, increases the free fatty acids and glycerol in the body fluids, and free fatty acids are used as a source of energy. The main thing is the cortisol will prevent the store of glucose, prevent the storage of glucose, so it will make the availability of the glucose by the cells. The next one is the mineral metabolism. So the cortisol increases the active reabsorption of sodium from the DCT and exchange of sodium with the potassium, and that will be excreted in urine. So the blood volume and BP is also increases. So on CNS, it will increases the activity of the neurons in the CNS. So it has anti-inflammatory or anti-allergic activity. So anti-inflammatory, it will suppresses the immune system by decreasing the eosinophil, lymphocyte and basophil count. Then anti-allergic activity, that means sometimes in organ or a tissue transplantation, the recipient body will resist or reject the new organ. So this cortisol will be helpful to use for immune suppression and prevent the rejection of the body to this transplanted tissue. So that is anti-allergic activity. So usually if the foreign substances or any other tissues or any organs will be implanted in our body, the first is allergic reaction will takes place. So they will cortisol will prevent this allergic action by through immunosuppression. So these are the important functions of cortisol. So next one is the applied aspects, that is a Cushing syndrome. So Cushing syndrome, here the hypersecretion of cortisol. Okay, excessive secretion of the cortisol. So it will lead to redistribution of fats. Okay, the fats can be deposited in the face, that will lead to moon face, buffalo hump and pot belly are the important features of Cushing syndrome. Then the leg and the limbs, the hand and leg become very thin. There is a thin extremities. So then poor wound healing. So muscular weakness, hyperglycemic, because it will increase the main function of the cortisol to increase the glucose in the blood. So because of the excess, that will lead to hyperglycemic or diabetes. Then hypertension are the symptoms of Cushing syndrome. You can see the diagram. So here there is a fat deposition. Okay, so deposition of the fat in abdomen and the neck. Okay, so here you can see the purple striation, then fat or moon face because of the deposition of a fat in the face. Then the thin extremities, the leg and hand become very thin. So hyperglycemia. So also there is a fluid retention, edema are the important features of Cushing disease or syndrome. So that's complete the cortisol. Then next is Addison disease. So this is decrease in secretion of all the hormones of adrenal cortex. So this is not important. So next is adrenal medulla. So adrenal medulla is the inner portion that mainly secretes the neurotransmitters like dopamine, norepinephrine and nephrine. So mainly it will stimulate the sympathetic nervous system. So there are two hormone called catecholamines has a fight or flight reaction in the body. So next, coming to the sex hormones like testosterone, testes secrete testosterone. So it will helpful for the development and production of sperm and secondary sexual characters in male. Then the ovaries mainly secrete estrogen and progesterone that will act on the uterus and other body tissue and helps to for the preparation for pregnancy and development of secondary sexual characters in females. So that's complete the adrenal cortex.